Otherwise, let's go ahead and get into this next match, a best of 5 between Cloud9 and Allegiance. With the commentary is Shogun and Lawler. Take it away, guys.
It is going to be the battle of the offenses between Allegiance and Cloud9. You can see two of those players right there, Gimmick and Illusion. Illusion coming in as the #1 goal scorer on Allegiance last week, coming in at 11th overall, whilst Gimmick, 1 goal per game, tied with about 6 other players that also managed it. A very rare feat in Rocket League eSports, but a lot of goals going around this season.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of difference, too, in style. Obviously, compared to previous seasons, that average has been a lot higher. The defense has gotten a lot better for a lot of these teams, but still these players averaging to get 1 a game is pretty unbelievable. You saw there for Gimmick as well, able to land pretty much 1 out of every 3 shots, which is a lot of pressure coming out from Cloud9. They have always been a team that is offensive hungry, but the ability for them to finish. Gimmick, one that people don't pay enough attention to. He had a fantastic week last week, while Squishy was kind of having some faults. But that's the beauty of this Cloud9 team. Even though they're not playing and rotating on all cylinders, they still manage to find the wins.
Well, whilst many would put Cloud9 as the favorites for this week has taught us anything, it's that we should expect the unexpected indeed. Squishy is going to get an early block here. It's the attempted follow-up, but it will not happen. Allegiance didn't take their time writing themselves into the Rocket League history books last week. 11 goals scored in 1 game between them and NRG. They took a game win as well, but there is Torment not allowing the ball to touch the floor, and Torment with a lethal shot.
I mean, you're talking, he said he had like 11% shooting accuracy last week.
12.5.
He is trying to kill that stat immediately. A beautiful pass play coming up from Squishy to Torment. That shot, a boomer.
Torment really was the outlier last week. But this might be his opportunity to really get himself going. There's a setup from Illusion, but Squishy gets there in time. Torment wants to put this over to the side. It's going to be now Cloud9's chance to show what their defense is capable of. Ty will move that forward. If that was on target, that would have been very dangerous indeed. As Illusion, once again, just clearing it over into the opposing half. We've just come towards the end of the opening minute. Very end-to-end gameplay so far. Neither team able to hold on to offense so far in this game. But Cloud9 have made the most of that beautiful passing play.
Squishy a little bit of trouble here as well. He missed that corner boost as he did a half flip. But relieving the pressure. Seabass with it.
We've lost Lawler, unfortunately. Lawler, come back, please.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Back. Okay, no, he's gone again. Either way, this match will continue. So Allegiance and Cloud9 still fighting it out in game #1. Shooting accuracy on Cloud9 has been very good so far this season. Gimmick coming in this week, scoring 1 out of every 3 of his shots. Very high indeed in Rocket League. It's going to be a miss, but Squishy can get the clear. And Lawler, I believe, is back.
Hi.
Hi, buddy.
It feels good to be back.
I missed you.
Kind of. It hurts a little bit, but we'll be all right. We're good. Just like this pressure from Allegiance.
Oh,
it's been
very
pretty
nice.
solid.
Very nice segue there, Lawler. See,
thanks,
this
man.
is the reason why, even when you are choking, not like James, where you gotta leave, you're straight back in here.
Yeah, no taking from Quinn this week.
It's gonna be another long ball. Squishy doesn't get too much contact. Gonna require Torment to go with yet another ball. Allegiance struggling though to find challenges in that midfield area. Means that pretty much as soon as their wave of offense is gone, Cloud9 can attempt to work it out. I don't think Cloud9 have quite realized it just yet. Well, that was much better this time, playing the ball around from Gimmick rather than just putting it straight back over to Allegiance. 2 players committed. Here will be the follow-up. Gimmick with the shot! And once again, lethal.
Look how Gimmick plays this shot as well. He had the pressure. He got the boost in the corner. He immediately backs off. He leaves that area for Squishy to make that play inside, swings right back in and puts a beast of a shot from that line. Just the decision-making from Cloud9 has been the difference here. Even though the pressure is on both sides, Cloud9 using that space really well, not only when moving upfield, but otherwise you see Squishy there again. A prime example, playing it to a spot where the other players are not.
Does seem like positioning is a major problem right now for Allegiance. They are struggling to consistently get somewhere. Lucian thought about going forward for that. They're constantly second best of everything. Squishy, just annoying enough, and I think he might have been helpful towards getting rid of it. Seabass will be credited with the save. But so far, this game has been all Cloud9.
A lot of it does have to do with just the way that Allegiance is playing the ball, even though they did apply some of the pressure. It's the same situation we saw in our previous series, where it's just one touch and then no follow-up.
Gimmick will put that one up, and he is going to do it by himself.
Look at this touch. It's insane.
Gimmick, you're nuts. Just take a look at this. That is a big miss.
Slows it down, but look at him carry this up with it. Just right over the top, perfect touch. Nice and feathered in.
But once again, space afforded to Cloud9. A miss over in the corner allows pressure to move forward. And, well, good shot, Squishy.
Yep, that was a thing. I mean, we talked about kickoff goals being a problem, but okay, his pre-jump there was a little bit of a problem. Came out a little bit too far, didn't expect it. And he didn't have enough time. Like, if he would have air rolled back inside, he might have been able to, but then he would have whipped it all together probably. As long as it looked flashy, right?
Yeah, it was a good goal.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Don't recommend it, though.
Now, don't do it too often. Allegiance have put multiple goals in very short periods of time last week. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to do against Cloud9, but they'll certainly give it a shot. Ty will go for the block, but he is there first, allowing Squishy to get the rebound and put it back in to the offense.
Big difference that we're talking about. Cloud9, you see it one after another. As soon as that ball hits the ground, within a second or two, there is another player on their team rotating in to make that touch. That consistent pressure makes it very difficult as a read over the top, saved by Seabass.
That's going to give him his savior medal as well. But in a game where Cloud9 have had as much offense as they have had, it's not what you really want. Ty going to be forced to get himself a save. Rotating in late. There's going to be Squishy for goal this time on the opposing end.
Really difficult as well. You see Seabass using all that boost to get up. 55 on the clock. As soon as he hits it, he's only got about 20, 23. Came out of that goal just a little bit too much touch. Difficult to read in that situation. Usually you want to play it in from a horizontal angle rather than trying to move downfield with it.
Feels to me right now that Allegiance have to change everything about the way they play. Last week, they spent a lot of time going for individual plays that they were given space to do, but Cloud9 controlling that midfield as well as they will not allow those individual plays to come out. That's going to mean Lucian can't get any opportunities to take shots either, who is their best scorer because he was taking advantage of those individual plays, waiting for an open net and going in and taking the shot. But Cloud9, no space afforded.
Yeah, only 2 shots on the net for Allegiance. A lot of that shutout just simply because of Cloud9. And we talk about how it's a domino effect and how this all works. So the pressure from Cloud9 is creating multiple things. Number 1, pressure obviously makes it very difficult for Allegiance to clear the ball. 2, that's counteracted as well because you know that Squishy's going to be taking that boost because he's one of the most boost hungry I've ever seen because he's going to make the plays that he does. So all these things and these factors come into play, and it makes it difficult for Allegiance to have anything come out of it. They just need to find a way to be the first one to the ball rather than the one following up a hit that's already happened.
And Gimmick is now going to join, at least for the time being, depending on how the rest of this series go, but he's going to join Matt in the above 1 goal per game club. Very rare indeed. But can they continue, or can Allegiance finally come out? We saw in the interview on RLCS Overtime that Tyler says, all right, he's the vocal leader on the team. He's going to have to be right now. They need something new.
I mean, one of those things that they can do is they can relate back to last week. You saw Allegiance where they had difficulty in their games. They did go 0-2, but they also showed that they can prove to these other teams that they're here to play. And they need to do that. They need to bring it to this Cloud9 team because Cloud9 right now is just steamrolling it. They're beating them to every single ball. The pace is much further in their side. But we've seen Allegiance is capable of that. They showed it against NRG last week. They need to be able to come up, contest, and control the pace themselves. And they can do that. We've seen these guys able to slow down the pace and play a couple more dribble styles. It's just, they're throwing away possession very quickly. They just need to slow it down a little bit here and there, but then be able to transition it quickly enough to where this Cloud9 team does not get this pressure that's already starting in game number 2.
Pressure has begun to mount already. Cloud9 looking to try and turn it into a goal, but Legion's actually doing a very good job of keeping it away from anyone. So now Ty can look for something. Torment getting a block will not allow Illusion to come in for those follow-up shots that he did enjoy so much during week 1. Ty once again trying to get control of the ball, but these challenges every time working out for C9. Gimmick gonna put himself up, could not get it, but Ty putting it somewhere dangerous yet again. This has not stopped just yet. C9 enjoying their time on the offense, but Torment and Squishy too close together, giving up the ball at least momentarily, but C9 back on.
Something we don't see enough from some of these players too. You saw Torment there. As he was rotating back, I'm pretty sure he was in clear decision that Gimmick was going to be the one to clear the ball because he had the better positioning in back. But he shadows it the way there just to make sure that if a player does contest, he can get up as a shot from Torment. Again, that accuracy.
Uncontested, and Torment will happily put that one just in. But it's the same issue as the first game. Legions are second best to everything at this point in time, and it has to be quicker. No one on that backboard ready to try and get anything. No one ready to jump up from the floor to try and go for a challenge. And if you're going to do that against Cloud9, you have to live with the consequences, and the consequence is a 1-0 lead to open us up. Another long ball. Ty wants to get the clear. Starting to put players towards that midfield area is Allegiance. Because they're using so much boost and not controlling the mid boosts either.
And double commits like that are not helping.
It's going to mean a very tough struggle for them to move forward. Finally getting it down to the other end. But you see Squishy using the backboard to now put it down the other end of the field. Ty with a miss. Going to allow Gimmick to move himself forward. C9 will love to try and make it too. Squishy almost managing to get a block. But it's touches like that from Ty, putting it straight back in a danger area, forcing two players to commit. And as good as C9 are, Allegiance pretty much the cause of their own downfall at this moment.
Yeah, Ty not only two mistakes right after another. First, going back down inside to his teammates, who clearly were not in the position to make that clear. But then both of them committing to it as well, just plays it horizontally and back into the midfield. Gimmick just able to survey that from behind. He waits, takes his time, then puts his shot on net, far post.
C9 happy to spread out as much as possible. There's going to be a demo from Seabass on Squishy. Going to open up some space for Ty to move forward in. But Gimmick just holding the goal line. Keep putting balls forward, seeing what Allegiance will do. Seeing whether or not there is another mistake just there. More contained pressure for Cloud9. Allegiance need to get challenging. There's going to be another passing play, and that, sweet as you like, zigzag passing play. C9 are now 3 goals up.
You want to talk about working the midfield, just one side of the field to the other, and you see everybody rotating back. That player on defense trying to move back across doesn't matter. You see Squishy and Gimmick working together in perfect succession, up by 3 halfway through the match.
Allegiance need something. I'm not too sure what at this point in time. Need a new game, I think would be a very good start.
Savage.
As Torment going to move himself forward. Very unorthodox shooting style from him. Try to put it behind the defender. Solution puts that one up high. That will not be on target. It was an open net, and there will be no follow-up. Torment puts that one long. There is nobody in net until Illusion gets there in time for the save and pushes it back into the corner. But Cloud9, we've seen them in this position multiple times in this series, very good at holding that midfield area. They've actually given up a lot of space to Allegiance. But it just seems like Allegiance are using all of their boost just to get the ball over here and then don't have anything to try and take it the entire way. Squishy will go the entire way until Lucian gets there in time with another savior medal. C9 having fun.
A lot of it does have to do with just the way Allegiance is playing. These touches, they did have a couple pass plays at the end there. But either they're exerting all their boost to make it happen like you stated, or it's just nobody's there to go for the finish. A couple of off shots as well. Here's pressure. Finally a shot from Illusion. They're putting them back within 2.
The play that they needed finally working out. Ty creating chaos. Seabass with the setup, and there is Illusion, their top shooter, coming in for the goal. 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining. It is possible, but they do need to cause even more chaos if they want any opportunity. Illusion's got actually a very good chance, but was beat to the ball by Torment, and Ty plays it earlier. There's going to be another shot. Squishy forced to save. The height of the shot was pretty good, just needed to place it a little bit more into the corners. And C9 could have been sweating this series.
Big difference as well. Another save by Illusion all over that net. But a lot of it does have to do with the pace. This quick pace of game does favor C9. It's what they like to play. And I still have yet to see Allegiance show their mechanics and slow it down, take some dribbles, and force one of these players on C9 to break that rotation. They need someone to go for a direct contest. And then have someone on the favor of Allegiance follow up as a shot. Ty trying to go for a double tap, playing it outside with only 15 seconds left. This one looks like it's going to be in Cloud9's favor.
I think that original shot needed to be on target. There is going to be Torment with the save. As we start to wind down here, Allegiance looking much better in the closing 60 seconds. Can they replicate it? They are going to have to. Cloud9 on series point.
Well, you do see the favor in Cloud9, obviously, but Allegiance closing that goal gap by one more.
I wonder who the defender is on Allegiance.
I mean, it's pretty easy to give it away. That man on the top, he's been all over it. Illusion making some pretty clutch saves, but at the same time, there is another player on their team, and I always forget who the last one is, but they've been double committing a lot on those saves. Very last-ditch efforts, both of them coming in off the last second of their rotation to make the save. So something is going on to where these transitions are being given for free from Cloud9. No one is getting in the face of that midfield. It's something that we do normally see Energy very strong at, but someone needs to be able to get up in the face of that, because Cloud9 is just given all the space in the world to do whatever they want. You said they were having fun. It's because they are. They're not being contested in any way.
I would really love to see Allegiance right now try and use those walls a little bit more. Whenever you take the ball up the wall for a dribble, so much harder to go and challenge unless you're going straight up for an aerial. It gives you a couple more options, but right now they keep trying to play it direct, either with a dribble or a long ball. Not working out because Cloud9 are controlling the midfield really well with one player right in the middle, one player all the way at the back. So even if you do beat that midfield player, it's not going to quite work out. But if they can use the sidewalls, gives them some more whip to their play, an opportunity to cut the ball into the middle as well, that might give them an opportunity.
I mean, a really easy way to simplify it, we need to hit it to open space.
Yes.
There's people there waiting for the shots, whether they're in the rotation or as they're sweeping in. Something that Cloud9 does very well that a lot of teams have troubles with when they're on their defensive is they don't stop their momentum. Even when they're rotating back into net, they're still moving through consistently, where a lot of players will just kind of power slide and then sit in one spot. They sweep through and keep that pressure going.
Well, game number 3. It's currently 2-0 to C9. As Allegiance going to try and look for a way back in. That will be not quite the touch that Illusion wanted. Prefer to get off the backboard and try and go for the double tap. There is going to be a double tap though from Squishy. No follow-up. Showing off some of his skill. Now Gimmick takes the ball. He's got Torment over to his right. Played it too far back. Not allowing Torment to run onto it. Still controlling the ball. Squishy now over to the side by Illusion. Just putting a little bit of pressure on. Not wanting him to have the ball for free. Now C9 are in a bit of a predicament over here. Allegiance should not give up the pressure too easily. They do not want to. This might be their best opportunity for a while. And that touch there from Seabass would offer C9 their opportunity to move forward. Squishy, side jump from him, does not go in for the shot. But Allegiance, they had an opportunity there to start consolidating and controlling those middle boosts, and they gave up after a poor touch.
It all starts with that first touch as well. You saw Illusion when he was up on that wall. Just that slight delay you talked about, going up high, gives a little bit of time for his team. And as soon as you see the play start to break down, you then see that third man in Illusion. He moves up, makes the contest, and keeps that pressure going. They need to keep that situation going for themselves.
Oh, there's going to be a doink there from Illusion. Seabass now looking for the setup over to Ty. It's the way that they scored their only goal in the previous series by constantly using that backboard, pulling out defensive players from C9. This time, not quite finding the space they needed. Gimmick over to Squishy. Almost just dumping the ball onto his hood. Gimmick with a nasty little hit onto Illusion. It will not mean anything though. Still all tied up as we come towards the end of the opening 2 minutes. So Allegiance going to have their opportunity in forward momentum. There's going to be another ball off that back, but it's not working right now. Illusion though, a pass straight into the middle. If that could have been cut down just a little bit more rather than floating up even higher, C9 could have been in trouble.
Gimmick finally able to grab some boost on that one. You even saw him Decide to let Squishy stay on that wall so he could get that under boost, buy his team some time. But this is the pressure and the chance for Allegiance. Still tied up only halfway through this game, as Cloud9 is on match point in this best of 5. The pressure for Cloud9 still going to apply. Even with the soft touches like this, it's just enough to allow the rest of their team to get into space.
Seabass trying to go for a clear. There will be no one in the middle. Seabass trying to get a block. Will not work out. Still all tied up heading into the final 2 minutes. Here's going to be a shot. Seabass turning it into an opening lead. Allegiance slowing the pace down as you were asking for in the previous game, and it's working out.
A lot of it as well. You saw Gimmick on the complete opposite side of the field, deciding to go for a demo in net rather than rotating back to help out his team. A lot of that does add a domino effect where it allows that first man up to go and make a contest because they know the defender is going to take the back post, the second man in line is going to take the near post, and then it allows this pressure to continue. Because of that, they have to stay put, they keep calm, and they get punished for it.
Illusion does give up the ball to Gimmick. Seems right now like C9 are taking shots from pretty far out in areas that, as long as Allegiance have got players on the goal line, will not trouble them. Squishy trying to show off some of those mechanics. Dump. A big bump though from Illusion will give Allegiance their opportunity to move forward. Final 80 seconds here. And Allegiance growing into this just a little bit more with every second that passes.
We talked about them learning from their previous weeks, showing that they compete with these guys. But as every game goes on, these guys become more and more comfortable with the speed, there, too much to handle. And a beautiful transition from offense to defense for Cloud9.
And this has been a consistent problem for Allegiance last week and this week as well. If C9 were to go on to win this, last week only converting 1 of their 4 opening goal leads into a victory. If C9 go on to win this, it'll make it 1 in 5. And at the top level RLCS, you really need to be able to take those opening goal leads and convert them into wins.
It's difficult as well because you look at the teams that they're doing it against, but a shot across from Seabass. The opportunities there, you see Gimmick going up for this, and just that 50-50 created by the teammate of Allegiance to keep that in the side, but then a shot from Seabass as well, well placed to put them back on top.
1 goal up, 51 seconds remaining. Allegiance will try and hold on to their place in this series. If they can, they will take their 2nd game win of the season, their first win being against NRG last week, and that is going to be another shot. Seabass, hat-trick hero, and if they ever needed one.
As well as that pass from Illusion to pop that up just a little bit higher for his teammate. Seabass coming in so very quick on that one, elevating it even more only gives them more of an advantage. Obviously the touch making it a little bit more difficult, but he reads it well and they're up by 2.
Seabass, the lowest shooter on Allegiance last week, coming up big in game number 3 this week against Cloud9. As Illusion gonna put that one long. Seeing Ghost Gaming do a very good job in the previous series of holding their opponents towards one end. Gimmick and Squishy are gonna come together. There is Torment putting that one into the net. 15 seconds remaining. Allegiance, can you hold your nerve? 1, 2, 3, everybody involved. Pass inside, and then a beautiful touch off that backboard. Clears everybody on the defense over to the side and leaves it wide open for Cloud9. 15 seconds left. Can they tie it up? Pressure or turtle? That will be the question right now. To pass over to Allegiance. There is going to be 1 player committed from Seabass. The other 2 holding themselves back. That is going to be dangerous. Commitment there from Ty. Shot for Gimmick. He is not going to be able to make enough contact. Torment wants to get over to Squishy, but he cannot do it. In Allegiance taking the win and holding this series up. We are now 2-1. Those goals from Seabass showing so crucial at the end. You say that they weren't able to keep those wins, and a lot of it does have to do, they just weren't able to find the net again after that. This time, Seabass comes up clutch with that hat trick, gives them a little bit of spacing, and they're able to hold off in the end. Well done by Allegiance, showing that they are here yet again to compete. Big game for Seabass as well right there. If you ever needed someone to just take 4 shots and score 3 of them, it was right there. It was right then. Did manage to do it. Allegiance looking a lot better. They did take your advice. I don't know if they were listening, but they slowed it down. Maybe. Cloud9, trying to go for something a little bit too fancy. We saw from them at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah.
As soon as the goals went in, I think they tried to pick it back up, but by then it was too late.
Yeah, a little bit overconfidence as well from Cloud9. You saw them start to have a little bit more fun. You saw Torment do a cross-body turtle shot. Whatever he was trying to go for there was interesting, but he just kind of kept sliding. You know, like, Torment, I know you can hit the A button. It even gives you a tip to help you out if you need to turn back around and help. But they just went for some stuff that was a little bit more unconventional because they felt that they could. And Allegiance comes out on top because of it. So good to Allegiance. They, fully committed to it and able to hold on to the win.
Well, they'll have to continue on in their winning ways. So we're going to head into game number 4, Manfield Night, my personal favorite map in the game. Just a lovely little atmosphere to this map that you just cannot beat.
I can't wait for Manfield Snowy.
Manfield Snow is going to be pretty good. I can't wait for the day I just get so bored and try and clear up all the snow from the floor.
I'll probably see you there.
Ty going to try and take the shot though, and that is going to be the absolute perfect start for Allegiance.
Talk about poor clears coming out. 2 players going up for a touch, and that aerial just feathering right to the side. Easy for Seabass to play it back inside for Tyler, and then he puts a shot on net. Only 11 seconds this time, and here we go again with that stat. 2 and 5. Let's see if they can make it 3 and 5.
And with that assist, sod the snow, Seabass is making goals rain at this point in time. Stepping up in the biggest way. As Ty does get the block, Seabass will have to rotate back though. As Torment wants to go for a pass to nobody. No one quite on that part of the rotation. Lovely cutting pass though. Squishy to Gimmick, Gimmick to net. Cloud9 tied up.
The awareness for Squishy as well. He's not even taking a look, but he knows that he has a 3rd player in rotation. Plays that perfectly on the ground with good speed. So no matter what way you hit that, there's going to be power. And then the placement in. Just a boomer of a shot again coming out from Cloud9's team play.
Just given too much time. Allegiance will not want to fall back into the habit that they had in the opening few games of this series. Squishy and the rest of Cloud9 know how to make use of it. Seabass puts that one up high. Squishy should be able to deal with it, and he has. Here's our boost though, so it will be given back up to Allegiance. 2 players committed. And now C9 can go on the counter-attack, or at least they could. Lovely midfield challenge, preventing that from happening, and Allegiance continuing to put forward offensive pressure. Starting to go for those challenges. This is much better.
That pressure is doing so many things. You see Cloud9 finally under a point where they have no boost, and the passes that they're playing are just to get it out of their own half. They're hitting it to just anywhere to make sure they have some space so they can breathe for a little bit, but then it immediately comes back in favor of Allegiance, doing such a good job turning this around.
And Ty managed to find some space as well. Illusion wanted to get a block, but could not reach it in time. Squishy passes it to Gimmick. Gimmick off the side, goes over to Torment. Torment with the shot. There is 2-1.
Space again for Cloud9. You're allowing them to make these touches. Illusion rotating for boost, going up on the wall. Probably the big mistake there as well. Should have stayed grounded to give himself a chance for the shot, or to just shadow that ball. Stay close to it, cut off that angle, anything to buy your team time.
It was a panic move right there. If he didn't take up to the wall, he would have been able to at least get a challenge. There would have been whoever was in the better position would have taken the ball. Torment up on that side wall. Looks to get a block. Allegiance now chasing this game. Seabass just wants to keep it in the Cloud9 half as Gimmick will be yet another long clear, but something that we didn't see earlier from Allegiance. They are controlling that midfield now. They just need better contact, but these cutting infield plays are cutting the Allegiance defense to shreds.
Again, we see this exact same situation across to the other side of the field and then right back towards the middle of the net. It's drawing these defenders out. They need to stay patient or have someone to help them out. They're being singled out, and it's working for Cloud9.
It seems like every single time Cloud9 have the ball, Allegiance think it's going to be played off the backboard. They're trying to put themselves in a position where they can deal with that. Cloud9 are not playing it off the backboard. They're not even looking towards the backboard at all. And once again, it is those floor plays coming out big. Cloud9 give themselves a cushion of a lead. Half this game left to play, though. Gimmick, huge win. Expected Seabass to come in. There is going to be the fake. Looks to go the entire way, but Illusion comes in and saves his team and possibly keeps them in this game.
Keeps them away from getting a highlight play in our top 5. That wave dash fake was nutty.
C9 looking so much better in this game. Allegiance looking for their opportunity, and Ty will find the net. 2 minutes, 7 seconds remaining. 1 goal separating these teams.
Well done by Ty committing to this. He plays it up, and Torment, that slight hesitation on that wall, just wanting to wait so he can trap that plate up the wall. Ty has other plans. Plays it into the net.
Seems just like this has been a huge learning experience for Allegiance.
That's going to be most of the season,
so much
though.
better.
I mean, that's going to be most of the season, I think, for these guys. Obviously, they're playing at a different caliber team consistently. I mean, we compare them, you want to talk about like Oceania as a region, look how much better they are compared to last season. Just that LAN experience that they brought over to learn from the differences and nuances of the game. It's a lot different for teams that we consider, you know, bubble teams.
Well, Allegiance have to try and convert some of that learning into winning. Still a goal down as we head into the final 90 seconds, potentially of this series, unless they can find a way through. Gotta go towards the corner. Gimmick does not want to commit, recognizing that they are currently in a comfortable position and waiting for his teammates to pull themselves back. Cloud9's rotations, one of the stronger parts of their play throughout this series. Torment giving up space, recognizing the low boost on his opponent. It's going to be up high yet again. C9 have controlled the airs for the most part, but here comes going to be a shot. Lucian gets blocked by Torment. Final 60 seconds. That is a big challenge win, and Ty will be forced to do something. 2 players committed. Here is going to be an opportunity for Gimmick, but Seabass yet again gets himself inside, but it will not be enough. Torment with the 2-goal lead.
The shots forcing everybody to go up. That double commit spelling trouble, even though Seabass makes a huge touch on the way back to buy them time. 2 players up, just not able to recover in time. And the 3rd player rotating in for the shot.
50 seconds. Cloud9 have made a bit of a meal of this series, but it might be time for it to end unless Allegiance have got some more tricks left in the bag. Illusion will try and go across field. Seabass almost got there in time, but it was a nice challenge there from Gimmick. 2 players committed there by Allegiance. Squishy, he tried this earlier on, it did not quite work. Can he do it this time around? Almost forcing the challenge win. But you see the damage that plays like that do. Every single player on Allegiance had to look up, take notice, and commit. In a bigger series against tougher opponents, that might be the difference maker. But for now, it is going to be Cloud9 taking this win. Allegiance are going to be done for the day. They will be back next week against Renegades and Ghost. But for now, Cloud9 take this win, and they will take on FlyQuest later on today.
In a completely different story as well, we saw this same scoreline between Allegiance and NRG, where NRG came out a little bit slower and Allegiance was the one leading the charge. We see the different this time. They're trying to play up to their opponents, and they're learning as the series is going on. Allegiance obviously only able to get 1 game in this series, but still, that one a lot closer than we saw previously.
Cloud9 keeping up their high shots per game. Something that will end up working out for them. It just seems like their entire strategy is, all right, we are doing something. You have got to pay attention. You have got to react. As soon as you react, we've got an open net to aim for.
It's baffling how many times that infield pass play works. For them to pass it from one side of the field back to the other, not to the wall, but still within the means of the box, and then redirect that back to the other side. And the shot wasn't even like placed perfectly top right or bottom right. It's in the middle of the net. It's forcing these players that they respect their opponents. And like, crap, someone has to challenge this. What are we going to do? And it draws them out of the net and leaves it wide open. So for Cloud9 to convert on those, and then Squishy you saw at the end as well, that air dribble, you feel like everybody on Allegiance being like taking a deep breath, like, oh God, it's happening. What do we do? Someone needs to get up and contest that earlier. Otherwise, they are doing better as they try to adapt to these teams.
Well, so far this season has at the very least been encouraging towards this Allegiance squad. 3-1 this week against Cloud9, taking a game. Took a game last week against NRG, so I believe that they'll be happy with their performances so far. But will our desk be happy with either of these teams' performances? Let's find out. Axel, over to you.
Yeah, that was an awesome series to watch. Cloud9 with a 3-1 victory there over Allegiance. What really stood out to me, guys, just the passing plays. I know that has to be a part of the conversation when it comes to Cloud9. You guys saw we're about to see it again in the Mobile 1 High Performance replay, but Cloud9 keeping it together with their team plays. But I love the fight that we saw from Allegiance, similarly to how they fought against NRG last week.
Cloud9 looked really good in game 1. I thought like Allegiance, only 2 shots. They didn't even score a goal on their shots. It was more of a squishy own goal. And they did compete once again. It is encouraging for them, but at some point, like, you have to put up a win. They are playing energy in Cloud9 so far, so a little bit easier going forward. But these counter plays from Cloud9 are scary. The three-man passing plays going down the field in, it seems like, 3 seconds and scoring amazing goals is something that the entire North America scene has to watch out for.
And it seems that they had figured out, hey, if you're going against Cloud9, you want to stagger them and slow them down as much as possible. So they were contesting a lot of things. They were trying to make sure they had a strong presence in the midfield. But then you saw it start to taper off towards the end of the series. And that's when Cloud9 really started to take away as well towards the latter half, because it's hard to keep that up. And a tiny bit of mistake, as you said, Cloud9 with their counterattacks are going to punish so hard.
And plus, we saw Torment, like I talked about, 12.5 shooting percentage from week 1, one of the worst in the league. He scores 5 goals on 12 shots, so he's been getting better. And the one thing I love about Cloud9 is they diversify the shots. Torment had 12, then Squishy has 11, and Gimmick has 10. So all 3 of them putting some pressure on, and it's because of those passing plays. It's just like, where are you right now? All right, so you're going to be the second passer, and here is the third person going to score. It doesn't matter between the 3 of us. All 3 can play every single role, and that's what's so dangerous about Cloud9.
It's so fun to watch too, just the way they're able to move the ball across the field, play horizontally more often rather than vertically, which is what we talk about with the European region a lot. But for someone watching at home, watching this Cloud9 team, is there an easy way to improve while watching this Cloud9 team? Like, is it a good idea to try to replicate that type of play in your own play from home?
The best thing to watch from pros is their vision. Like, when they have the ball alone, they look for a teammate and they look to throw it to them instead of throwing the ball forward. I always say, like, when I do my analysis on like gold level players and stuff, they're always trying to throw the ball forward, and it's not necessarily the best move because you're just giving away the ball. So instead, look for your teammates horizontally, and you see Cloud9 always looking for their teammates. We saw Torment trap a ball perfectly, pass it over to Gimmick, because those lateral passes, you keep that speed when you shoot it forward as well, so you don't even have to get a lot of oomph on the shooter.
And I think just as important, watch what the players that don't have the ball are doing. When your team's the one that's in control, if my teammate has the ball, watch what those other players are doing and how they're positioning to support the teammate that does have it. Because if you just leave it up to one guy to hopefully get a gnarly, nice 1v1 play, you're maybe, 1 out of 10 opportunities will actually result in something potentially. So you always watch. I think it's really big to watch where the players that don't have the ball are going to help support their teammates.
But the one problem with that is, say you're a gold level player, you can't put that same trust in your teammates.
Fair
probably.
enough. Fair
so
enough.
don't
Fair
always
enough.
do what the pros do based on their position, because they expect certain passes to come their way.
Now, can FlyQuest take anything from that match if they're watching from home? Because they're going to be playing Cloud9 in the last match of the day. Can FlyQuest see anything there and try to exploit any weaknesses?
So we see from Allegiance when they were trying to challenge every ball, like in the midfield, as long as they don't get too caught up in that, where, oh no, 2 of us went for like an offensive play that was a low reward, and say it fails, Cloud9's going to counter quickly. So they got to be careful with plays like that, where, say it's an aerial on a really tough angle, maybe don't go for those. Maybe settle down, wait for their clear first, because we've seen Cloud9 counter, and it's really scary.
The counters are the biggest thing. I think they really need to make sure they never dedicate 3 men to a play where they don't have full control or it's not at least trapped in a corner. Yeah, you might want to worry about a pinch, but you don't want to play around pinches because they're just so rare, and sometimes you're just going to get screwed by one. But overall, I think the general situation is if you dedicate 3 up, Cloud9, the moment they see a hole, they're probably going to score on you because they're so accurate with their passes. So that's what I think they should really worry about.
Yeah, very nicely done from Cloud9. They're staying undefeated. But remember, they have another match later today going up against FlyQuest. Meanwhile, Allegiance, they're done for the day. They don't have a win yet in the RLCS, but they'll be back in the future, of course, to try to get some wins on their record. That being said, let's go ahead and move on into a break. Coming up next, we got NRG coming back to the field, and this time they're facing off against Rogue. Both these teams played earlier today, and now they're going to match up against each other here on twitch.tv/Rocket League. Stay tuned.